Yo,
What's going on? We live, baby.
están hecho y derecho. What's going on, man?
No. See, the number 12 is back, baby. Number 12 is back.
Oh shit!
Man, Rogers signed. He's coming home. Let's go.
What's the deal with that?
Nah. He just, he told them he had a crazy press conference today.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, just gave him the business. Like, yo, I should be able to pick free agents to come here. Blah blah, whatever. Basically, like people ain't coming here because it's a hotbed. You know what I mean? Like Tampa.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They come in here to play with me and have a chance to win a championship with this team. Some people didn't like what he said. I love what he said. Because you know what? He didn't take the usual A-Rod politically correct topic. So he said, yo, this is what it was, and that's it. He came back, let's go to work. Let's try to win this chip.
I have to say, I haven't followed everything in Rogers' career. However, whenever Rogers does speak or does take the time out to do a press conference or whatever have you, he speaks from a leadership standpoint, no matter what, right? So when Rogers speaks, as mad as people may get or some people may like it, you got to respect it, period. Because he's never coming from an ego place. He's always coming from leadership, what we're going to do, what we're aiming to do, and this is what I'm setting out to do. He sets the bar, and, he leads.
They redid his contract. I think he could be a free agent next year now. And that's it. He could walk with, he just didn't want to be a dead man walking as a QB, like, they trade him away or whatever. So it is what it is. Let's, the last dance. We got our own version of the last dance going on.
I think that's great for him, though. Take charge of the situation. And go out with a bang. Don't play the sideline. Leave it all on the field. And then whatever you do next year, you do, and that's it. Nobody can say anything. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, I'm Mr. A.
Sally Song in the building.
And this is the Set 6145. Tonight, we have a very special guest, Mr. Hablando, Mr. Vince Serrano, out of Florida, originally from Brooklyn. We're going to talk to Vince. Vince is actually making an appearance on My True Crime Story this Monday, August 2nd. And it's going to be crazy. So you don't want to miss that. And you don't want to miss this. It's going to be a great conversation. Vince is, he's that dude. He's electric. He has a great personality. And I hope everybody enjoys the show.
This is one of his first interviews in English, too. Top 3. He's been doing the Telemundo circuit, you know what I'm saying? So shouts to Vince for giving us this opportunity. For real.
Mr. Johnny Chavez, we see you. We also have a green-eyed bandit in the room. Good evening. What's good?
Let's go.
So let's chop it up before we start the show. Sure. We want to give let's see, here it is. We want to give our condolences to a legend. This gentleman, there's a lot of things said about him, but, I think that people that didn't grow up in that time don't understand his impact on hip hop and who he was. Part of a legendary crew called the Juice Crew, headed by the super producer, Mr. Marley Marl. You got to give it to Marley Marl. But, rest in peace to Biz, man.
Yeah, man.
Whew. A lot of music.
People didn't even know that Nobody Beats the Biz was the Wiz commercial and shit. So, yeah, man, the legend in the game for sure. Another legend that fell.
Yeah, Biz, that song, Nobody Beats the Biz. If you grew up in this time and you were going to house parties and you heard that sample drop, you went fucking nuts. That Eagle said, ding, 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 ding.
Just a friend, bro. Just a friend. Everybody was singing Just a Friend.
It was
crazy. What I'm saying? DJs is turning the music down and letting the acapellas go. Karaoke time.
For real. Man. But Biz, his impact on the game, he definitely set a standard. He bring a very big lightheartedness to hip hop, especially during the golden era. It was, it was an amazing time for hip hop. Aside from that, I really don't like this headline, the Clown Prince of Hip Hop. He wasn't a clown. Biz was so much bigger than that. And I think Rolling Stone and everybody else who ran with this are real suckers. But
bro, Vapors, come on. He got hits.
Yo, the something for the radio. When he swiped that bass line from Prince's movie Under the Cherry Moon, like people didn't even know that because they weren't, a lot of them weren't Prince fans, but that song was like so impactful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, Marley Marl, it just was that dude. He was in pocket,
Yeah, no. I mean, the Juice Crew was it was like, the Red Sox running into the Yankees all those years. You know what I mean? It was just like, yo, they were good. It's just they ran into a better team. Whatever. You know what I mean? It's just I'm just using an analogy. Yeah, like the Patriots, Giants end up, beating them twice. But the Juice Crew, man, they was Coogee Rap, you know what I'm saying? Big Daddy Kane, like
Greg G.
Yeah, no, the symphony was
come on. And the crazy thing is, people don't know. Like, a lot of people didn't come to learn that Marley Marl produced Rakim alongside of Eric B, but he was the producer, right? And to just hear the story of how it all came to be and how they were like, yo, we need you to put more energy in. He's like, nah, this is my style. It's just amazing.
Right.
It's just amazing, a lot of great music. Salute to everybody in the room. Mr. J. Martinez, Chef J. Martinez, we see you from Rooftop Reds. Salute to you, brother. For real. Ethan Avilas, Mr. Sammy Sierra's in the room. Man. Oh, the regular schmegler, Miss Angelica Reyes, we see you.
Angelica with her new haircut.
Oh, you beeped it? You beeped it?
Yeah.
We also want to give another rest in peace to a legend. Sally, you may have more background information on the singer, Mr. Johnny Ventura, dies at 81.
Yeah.
Super impactful. Another artist.
All the Christmas, the Christmas parties, we was playing the Johnny Ventura.
Man. Yeah, man. It's just crazy, it doesn't stop, right?
I'm sure Vince, his family has a history playing them, Dominican background also. Shouts to Joey B in the room, Joey Bravo, our guy.
Oh, salute to Joey Bow. All the great work he's doing down there, training them kids, man.
Yes,
Joey,
sir.
Keep doing your thing, man, for real. I love seeing that, man. The brother puts in work.
Paying it forward.
For real. But rest in peace to Johnny Ventura's family. And damn, another legend gone. It's crazy. And one more before we move. This is a little, I think this is a little annoying to me. And I'll tell you why. The sport that this woman is in is you have to train like hours and hours a day. But not only that, if people understand who Simone Biles is as an athlete, Simone has moves named after her because they were never done before. Like, they were like, what is that? Oh, we're just gonna have to call it the Simone Biles because nobody's ever done it. And she's come out of competition because she's saying, my mental health, she's mentally not there. So she removed herself so she wouldn't hurt the team. And people are attacking her for it. Like, it's crazy, I think that's real suckerish of people, but speaks to the times we're in.
It's to me, it's it's like a relationship. You actually got to almost give her credit for walking away.
Exactly.
And not trying to just embarrass her and the team. Mm-hmm. She wasn't feeling right. Ain't nothing wrong with that. People tell you all the time, are you hurt or are you injured? That's how we grew up. Are you hurt or are you injured? Can you play through it? Mm-hmm. It ain't like that anymore. And studies have shown, maybe that wasn't the best approach, but if she's not right mentally, that's where it all begins. You know what I mean? So we're not right mentally. You got to check, listen, I'm going to hurt the team or I'm going to hurt myself. And if she gets hurt, there was another gymnast that got hurt same way. I think she messed the leg up and then tried to do another flip and was like 18 years old, had to retire. Like, how do you retire at 18? Man. So, yeah,
I think that Simone just deserves her respect and her space. Again, she's an amazing woman. She's an amazing athlete, and even after being, sexually, violated by the doctor and all those hundreds of women that, were in that same group.
Yeah, man.
How can you attack her? Mm-hmm. Sucker shit.
Easy. People just weak and they behind the desk, behind the computer.
Yeah. And motherfuckers haven't done a cartwheel ever. But salute to Simone Biles and, you know, respect to her. So, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're going to be speaking to Mr. Hablando himself, Mr. Vince Serrano. We want to give respect and admiration to this gentleman for not only doing what he does, but most of all, giving back and giving us his time. Mr. Serrano's schedule is super heavy. He's doing a lot of things. So we definitely want to give him a salute for, you know, coming out and sharing his story with everybody, for real. So so everybody's aware. Let me share this one more, and then we're gonna run the track.
He's so busy he forgot we was in Rhode Island today. We were gonna get a studio, and then he's like, "Yeah, I'm in Rhode Island still." I'm like, "Oh, thank God we didn't do that."
So this Sunday, on VH1, Mr. Vincent Serrano is gonna be profiled on the show. Everybody, take a look.
These crimes made headlines. Now hear the real story from the masterminds themselves.
I got 3 ounces of pure cocaine in the trunk.
Monday, August 2nd. See the rise.
I had never seen that much money. We need to rob another bank.
The fall.
She went to prison for 12 and a half years. Race absolutely played a part.
And the redemption.
My passion was speaking to you. Don't go down the path that I did.
Because in a split second, anyone can get caught up.
I felt like I got a second chance.
My true crime story, narrated by me, Remy Ma, premieres Monday, August 2nd at 10.
Yo, narrated by BX's own Remy Ma. Let's run this track and let's get this show started. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm Mr. A.
Sally Song in the building.
And this is the set 6145. Tonight, as you can see in the ticker, the set welcomes Mr. Vince Serrano, Mr. Hablando himself. We're really excited to have this conversation with Vince. He has a great backstory. The come up is real, and the transformation and evolution of who Vince is as a man is definitely real. So,
let's go.
You could always recognize somebody when they start talking and the moves that they're making and understand and relate, right?
Yes, sir.
And I think that Vince definitely gives off that energy. You know, he's such a positive brother. And, you know, I hope everybody tonight could really not only relate, but feel his story and feel him as a person. Because I think him as an artist, he's definitely going to have an impact. And before we do bring him into the room, I want everybody to just listen to a sample of his work. All right?
Que me hablen a mí, que me hablen a mí. Ellos siempre están hablando de mí. Que me hablen a mí, que me hablen a mí.
I hate this shit.
It was playing. What happened? It's off.
Yeah, no. Just there's a little tweak on my end. So if it sounds like it's playing, it might not sound like it's playing to everybody else. It kind of annoys me when it does that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But you know what? Let's not waste any more time. Ladies and gentlemen, the set welcomes Mr. Vince Serrano.
Yo, what's going on, man? Yo, I appreciate that. That is the greatest intro ever, man. Yo, give it for Mr. A and Sally Sasson, man.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. Appreciate it. Thanks.
I need you at my shows, my guy. Like,
listen.
We need that.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm like, yo, can we run that back one more time? You made my day, bro.
Listen.
How y'all doing today, man?
I'm good. You good, Sal?
I'm good, baby.
We're golden.
Happy. My boy Rogers is back. We're coming for Tampa Bay.
Let's go, baby.
I was hearing you and Mr. A and Sally, you said some stuff. Number one, when Aaron Rodgers talks, people listen.
That's it.
When he talks, people listen. And I am from Tampa. We are a vacation destination. People are coming there for not just the rings, but the whole environment. You see Tom Brady throwing the trophies and you know what I'm saying, from the boats.
Yeah, I won hockey.
All types. We're the city of champions right now. And so when I see Aaron Rodgers like going through it and saying like, hey man, from a point of leadership, and that we talked about that leadership, that point where he says like, hey, we got to get to work. People come here to win. Why are we playing games? Why are we not doing these things? And there are going to be people who are saying, you know, oh, why is he coming out now? Listen, he has been team from day one.
Yes, sir.
You know,
He's
and so for him
never got involved with any dealings.
So when QB1 speaks, you got to hear that.
Definitely. People don't understand. See, we're growing up in a different environment now, and it speaks to people in such a way that they don't understand, because when you have a real leader step to the forefront, they get confused. They're like, oh, he's full of himself. Oh, he thinks he's all. Nah, it's not. It's not translating to you because you don't understand what it is to be led by a true leader, one, and to understand that you got to shut the fuck up and listen more than you talking so that you receive the message, right?
You should be graced by this. You should be grateful that you're even being graced by this man's spit right now coming out of his mouth. And you over here trying to criticize this man? Like, what's wrong with you, broski?
Nah.
Yo, so you mentioned the hockey team. I totally forgot that they had a
Tampa won. Yeah.
We
got the next champion right here from Tampa. My man Vince right here. The next champion.
Yeah. We don't even get ice.
Let's go.
That's what I was confused about. I'm like, how the fuck? What is it? Tampa Bay Lightning?
Yeah, Lightning.
Yeah, we got lightning. We get rain.
Yeah, y'all got enough of that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to start, as always, we want to start from the beginning. Vince, why don't you tell everybody where you come from and where you're at presently? Like, you're originally from Brooklyn, correct?
Yeah, I was born in Brooklyn. So my father's Dominican. He's from South First and Borinquen Place, like that area. That he was from DR, but when he came, that's where they came to Los Sur. Right. And they back in the 80s when I was born, it was a different spot than it is now. It was a spot. My mom, she's American with Puerto Rican descent, so my grandmother's Puerto Rican, but we're third generation American on that side, and then my dad's straight from DR. So my dad was deported before, or he got into some trouble. Obviously, he was hustling in the streets, and I grew up without him. My mom had to raise me as a single parent mom. She had 2 kids. It was a tough time, and they're the have and the have-nots, and we were the have-nots. And growing up in poverty, growing up in a situation where it wasn't easy, to now, having my own, going through those struggles, going to play college ball, going to play ball in DR, going to go meet my father for the first time at 14, not even knowing a word of Spanish. Now I can speak Spanish. I can rap in Spanish. I'm charting on the Billboard charts, in Spanish. To now also owning a company and being responsible and being a leader for people every single day and every single week, and having to wear that like a badge because it's one of the hardest jobs ever. People be talking like it's easy, but they couldn't lead ants into the whole, you know what I'm saying? They couldn't lead ants into the rain yard, bro. So
we always have this conversation, me and my boy, about like, the gurus on Facebook about running teams or this and that, but they can't. Meanwhile, their bank accounts, they can't even run their bank account. You're trying to run a team.
Facts.
Taking financial advice from a broke person is not really advised for anyone.
Yeah, but I feel like there's levels to this, right, Mr. A?
Supremely. And if you don't understand that now, man, you're gonna have a really fucking hard time later on in life. You really gotta understand that there's definitely levels to this shit. Vince, so your dad is deported, your mom is here raising you. It's just you and your brother, you and your sister?
It's my dad actually has another family. So my mom is the side chick. My mom is the side chick that, so this is the thing that we're talking about, right? This is the stuff that we talk about, that our culture, in DR, it's a culture de mujeriego and all that. You already know. And this is stuff that we think is cool. We see it in like, even now with the music that we put now, we see in this culture of, the music influences us, and we seeing us, running off on a plug, or we seeing us like having so many women that we raising up young. Future got 12 kids. You know what I'm saying? Like NBA young boy got, he trying to get 60 by the time he's 30. Like, it's it's all this culture that's being there, and then we don't even realize that we're raising ourselves and our kids to go through the same generational cycle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so my dad had his whole family, and he picked up his whole family, and they went to DR. So I have brothers and sisters that I didn't meet until I was 14 that didn't know English. And then I have my sister who I was raised with my mother, right? We live in everybody's house. We live in one place for a year, moving to the next place. People were like, "Yo, were you in the military? You moved somewhere?" No, my mom just moved. Yeah, you know.
You in the military.
She's just moving. You know. So we moved from Brooklyn to Buffalo back to Queens to Utah.
What?
Where do you go to Utah for? How did that happen? You know,
Mormons.
Yo, culture shock, bro.
Wow.
Culture shock. Yeah.
Wow. So I'm sorry. As a young man, you're going to meet your dad for the first time. What is that interaction like? Because you can't communicate with him, correct?
No, he can speak. He speaks decent English, and I got a lot of questions. And the answers, brother.
Okay.
And you're the only one that can answer them, right?
Okay. Wow.
And so, you know, and not just that. Like, yo, again, like we said, my mom living in Section 8, right? So Section 8 housing, everybody knows how that works, right? Like, you pay $7 a month, $10 a month. The government pays the rest. You can't make a certain amount of money to be able to do that. So my mom's living in poverty and being okay with that. Me, I'm like, I need the Jordan. She can't go get them. Yeah. Me as a single a male being raised by a woman asking these questions like, why can my boys get them and we can't? The answer, no matter what she's giving me, ain't good enough, and I got to go figure this shit out on my own, you know.
Right.
And so when I get the opportunity to meet my dad after playing basketball, baseball, football, I love sports, you know. I love baseball. My grandfather, I'm a Met fan. So everybody, you know what I'm saying? I'm just letting y'all know.
There's some in the room. There's some in the room.
Yeah,
not this room where I'm at, but
and the Rays play the Yankees today, so I'm going for the Rays. Okay, so we just, Sally, I appreciate you, but I gotta keep it. We gotta keep it real from the jump, right?
It's all good.
But when you know, growing up in sports and growing up seeing these kids who had a support system, and me, my mom would punish me and not let me go to the games, you know? And so me trying to figure out how that worked. When I go meet my dad, I got to ask him these questions. Number one, why you ain't come check me? You know what I'm saying? Where were you? You better have good explanation for this. Right? To keep it real with you, I don't think my dad was expecting that kind of question from me, but I'm a young, frustrated young man at that time. And there's a lot of anger in me because I grew up tougher than a lot of people. We just talked about it in Section 8. We talked about the little things. That's just a minuscule part of what's going on in the young adolescent mind, you know? Ask Joey Brower, man, during those times. You know, Joey Brower was a mentor to me at that time. There was a time where, you know, at this age, I'm a junior in high school. You know, I'm fast forwarding, but I'm a junior in high school, homeless. You know, I'm working on a basketball scholarship, buffing the floors at 3 a.m. in the local YMCA in Tampa. To go get up to go walk 2 miles to go where my coach is going to meet me and go to school, or go to practice afterwards, conditioning afterwards, to go home, sleep in a trap house that the Yo program, thank goodness they gave me that, or else I'd be sleeping on a park bench.
Right.
Wow.
Surviving off of Doritos and Gatorade, you know what I'm saying? And trying to figure this thing out. You know, so where I came from, the gutter.
Right.
But see, here's the thing that strikes a chord with me, and Sally, I'm sure you could relate. The few guests that we've had on the show that have accomplished great things or are accomplishing great things often come from the mud, right? And it's that upbringing, it's that foundation that gives them what my guy, Mr. Shawnee Corey, used to call intestinal fortitude, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the resilience. Because if I take a rich man, a wealthy man's money all away from him, he'll jump off a building. He'll kill his whole family and then kill himself. But if you got
it depends
right.
how he got it.
Silver spoons. If you born in money, you do not know what struggle is. And if that's taken away from you, you don't know how to operate. If you take somebody from the gutter, entitled. You take somebody from the gutter, you make them wealthy, they lose it all. They good.
Mr. A, and Sully, I wanna agree with you on that, but I also want to say this, right? They have problems too.
For sure.
And their problems, like, they will lose a small fortune, which would be somebody else's fortune.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then I feel like you said it earlier, it's the resiliency and it's the idea, because to be real with you, I gotta kind of like move this to the real part where I think it should be. And I think it's this. Those people from the time that they're born, most of the time, they are taught things that we are not taught. They are taught values and morals and support systems. Financial literacy. Hey, this is, if everything else fails, this is what you do. And this is what you got to be like. I see it because now I'm around those kind of people. People who their kids will never struggle, not because if they lose it all, just because they taught them the game from the jump.
Right.
And if you know how to play at an early age, you just a dummy and ignorant if you going down that road.
Right.
You know, and there are people who are that. There are people who make those dumb mistakes. I'm one of those guys, right? I'm the guy that I bounce. I hit the ground. I bounce back 3 times as hard every single time, like a basketball. As long as they're airing me, I'm bouncing back 3 times as hard. But there's people who like bounce back.
What is that?
Yeah.
So Vince, at what point, right? Because we're hearing how you're going through these trials and tribulations fairly early on in life, and at what point is it that you're hooping and trying to get these scholarships and going to school and working and doing all these things? At what point does your mind say, yo, you know what, this money's not cutting it, I need to do something to make a bigger move, to put myself in a better position? When does that come to you?
To keep it real, it wasn't until I tore my knee, because I never had no plan B. It was hoop or die. It was hoop or die.
Right.
It was ball till I fall.
Right.
My route wasn't the NBA route, but my route was college, go to a D2, you know what I'm saying? Go to a community college, walk on, go play ball in DR, get paid for it. Oh snap, we making some money now. How do we make more? Steven Jackson just left. DR scored like 100 points a game. You know what I'm saying? So like he made it through the same. So my road was like a player right now who gotta go to Germany to go get it. My road was like, yo, let me make it to Venezuela, let me make it to Puerto Rico League, let me make it to Europe, Italy, China. And then get me in front of these people. That was my road. When injury hit me, right? And I wasn't making no money, bro. Keep it real with you. The only thing I was making was enough to put me through school, enough to pay for 3 meals a day. And that was barely, to keep it G with you. I transferred school my junior year, was homeless, went through, I had to restart. No college with coaches. I had to go through conditioning. And then we became the number 1 team in the county, and we got eliminated first game. My senior year in districts.
Wow.
If it wasn't for like the youth opportunity movement, the skills center elite, the basketball camps, the coaches that were like, yo, this kid got work ethic, grants paying for me to go to Jackson, Mississippi to showcase in front of Future Stars ABC camp, another Future Stars camp in Iowa, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. We would be talking about how I was some type of accountant I did some, you know what I'm saying? It would be a totally different combo, you know. But
Wow.
I had to get it. I wasn't stopping, and I got an opportunity. I was always tough because of that. I always
Right.
had that chip on my shoulder because of that. I always knew I wasn't 6'7".
Were you a talker? Because of your background, were you
Yeah.
a talker? Like, were you letting it out on the court?
So in Tampa, I'm living in primarily black neighborhoods. Like, you know, like we know what time it is, right?
Yeah.
We in this area. My baby mama Jamaican, you know. So I'm in the hood, and then I'm not afraid to go to any park and be the lightest thing out there, and I'm going to do you. I have the ability to put it on you, and I will. And you gonna look at me like I'm light, and I'm gonna say, "Watch
What
this."
one, yellow man? What
Yeah,
one?
yeah. And I might come down. I shake you. I might pull up, step back, might get to the rim. I wasn't a super big explosive jumper, but I was smooth with it. And if you caught me on the right day, I come up, shake you, get to the line, act like I'm gonna lay it up and yam it on you if I have to. And when it got to college and I got into the weight room, things changed. Things got a little bit easier. Jumping became more explosive. So I feel like people fall in love with my progression, my work ethic. We talk about it, right? The work ethic.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I just I couldn't live with you beating me.
Wow.
I couldn't look. Hell yeah. That being proud. Yeah, how J. Cole said, pride
Chip on
is
the shoulder.
devil. Yeah. Think it got a hold on me. Yo.
That's crazy. So you tore your knee, or was it it was a knee injury?
Yeah, so
Wow.
I'm going to and to keep it real, was my fault. You know, I had a kid in high school. Yeah,
Okay.
I had a kid my senior year. My son Vincent Jr. And that was another driving factor. Like,
Right.
I played on good teams, man. The guys that I played with NBA, we talked about it. Steve and Joey Graham. They went to the Final Four. They played with John Lucas at Oklahoma State. Torrance Kinsey, he played on the Cavaliers. Stevie Graham was actually on the Raptors team that Kobe put 81 on with Jalen Rose and them. So at least he was there. He's part of history. Okay?
Yeah.
He got guard Kobe. Ronaldo Bachman.
Right.
He went and played on the Knicks. We on the same team. So I seen these guys, and I saw Ronaldo's movement, and I saw like, if he could do it, I could do this, right? Because of where they came from.
Right.
And so when I saw those things, I was like, DR, moving to DR, getting this thing. And I was playing in DR, and I was playing good. I finally had gotten into a groove, but I missed my kid. I was there for 2 years. I hadn't come back, and I missed my kid. And I decided to come to the States. And my baby mama, the first day, she was like, yeah, come. As soon as she came, man, hit me with that sheriff's child support game. And they took my passport, wouldn't let me travel, and I had a court date.
Hold on. Let me just hit you with this real quick. She told you, bang, a mí sale nene, and court right there. Give me your passport.
Yeah. You might get something. Yeah, you're gonna get something, all right.
Something.
You get something, okay?
So needless to say, the relationship between you and your son's mother wasn't the best.
No,
right?
It was babies having babies. It was the same situation that I felt like my dad was. There's no guidance. There's no leadership. The cycle continues.
Full circle.
Right. So now, let's just jump a little bit.
And she was like, he's banging everything in DR. I know it.
Let me hit him across the head real quick.
What's the relationship between you? How was your co-parenting situation, and how's the relationship with your son now?
So, I mean, we got to get more into this stuff. I guess VH1 will talk about it when you guys see it. I'm premiered on the 16th, but dude, I went to prison. I
jumped a little too far. I
got hit with the child support. Was like, you what, you know what I'm saying? Like, you always messing up my life. Like, like just giving her full control. I can't go back. The president is calling me. Milton is like, yo, when are you coming back? You're gonna start this year, like da 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 da. Like I'm making a little bit of money, and I'm like, I can't leave. I gotta finish the situation. And then I go to a workout. I'm a little overweight, bro, and I tear my knee in a workout. And my life at that moment. So like we teach our kids to do what you want, right? Go like a job, like we have to be rappers, we have to be this, or we have to go to a job that we hate to do. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it. That's our culture. You know what I'm saying? Like you either, especially like in DR where we're from, everywhere we're from, it's like, okay, you either gonna be on the block or you're gonna be a ball player, a baseball player, a basketball player, a football player, or you're gonna be a dope boy. Or you gonna go to school.
Like Biggie said, right? You slinging crack rock or you got a wicked jump shot.
Yes, sir.
Facts. Or because me, to keep it real with you, I was a smart guy, bro. I graduated honors from high school. Even in my college, I was like, listen, I want to do stuff. But at the end of the day, did I know what I wanted to do at that age? Nah. Wow. Like, so now I tear my knee and my life to me is over. I don't know what to do. I just get hit with the child support game, tear my knee. My license is suspended. I get pulled over. They want to take me to jail. I can't make no money. I'm living with my grandmother. I'm 22 years old, 23 years old, living with my grandmother again.
And Wella's the only one that you have in your corner at that time?
Wella's always been the only one that's ever going to be in that corner. You know?
Salute to Wella, because no matter what, no matter what, Wella is always going to be there for you. A place to put your head, hot meal in your stomach, no matter what goes on.
That was good, Sally. I'm sorry to cut you off. That was good to a certain point.
No,
then
of course.
My grandparents lived across the street from us, so I used to go eat dinner there and then come back to the crib. That's why I'm the way I am now.
Yo, Vince,
you know?
Vince, we grew up in Sunset Park, right? We were youngins. We didn't have shit. I didn't have shit. Selly, we be playing. Selly was the only dude in our whole group that we grew up with. Grandfather used to come walking down the block, call him over, and be like, yo, here, hit him with a few dollars. It's like, look at this motherfucker.
So what I would do, guys, let's go to the store.
Let's go to the store.
I always spread the love.
Let's go Street Fighter, get the quarter lemonade, go to the corner, the grenades. Go get a couple of
you asshole, you ain't getting shit. Come on.
Come on, man. You on the other team. You was talking noise when we played stickball.
Oh shit. So now you're in this, damn, that's a fucked up prediction. You know, child support, some motherfuckers need it. Some people do deserve to be on child support. And there's certain situations that if we were to just take care better, right? If we were to just have a little maturity and communicate, things wouldn't have to be in that area. But you know what happens. So what? All right, cool.
So now you will support. We needed child support. I will say that. But she tried to get me for a child that wasn't mine, and I knew it. And she knew it.
Whoa.
That's
right.
Wait a minute.
That's some Maury shit right there.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's it gets crazy. It gets crazy.
Well, it's crazy.
So I'm dealing with this. With all types of emotion. We talking about Simone Biles. Shout out to the GOAT, right?
Yeah, for
Simone
sure.
Biles. Shout out to the GOAT. We don't know what she's going through.
Yeah,
you never know what somebody's going through.
Nope.
Imagine. So I'm gonna bring it back to me. Imagine you going through all this at one time. You tear your knee, and then she trying to hit you, and you looking at the paperwork like, are you serious? This can't be real. Yeah, like I loved you at one point. Like what happened?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, how was that? Wait, then he just Sully, did he fuck you up? He just fucked me up. How do you come to this realization? How does this come about?
Yeah, so and it came about in high school, man. And again, my life's an open book, and I want people to understand. VH1 ain't gonna talk about all this, and this is the first interview that I do in English that will actually ask about my life story. So I want to make sure that you guys get, we peoples, you guys get the real true, because we don't know what the narrative is. Right. We don't know what the narrative is. Like I want people to understand. Like VH1 could take stuff and push this through, but you know, you guys need to understand really first off, I love that you played the My True Crime Stories, and the first thing you hear is I had 3 ounces of pure cocaine in the trunk. When people hear that, the way they made that sound, they're like, "Holy crap, he had what?" Listen, thank God they only caught me with 3 ounces.
Right.
Oh, I wouldn't be. They'd have put me under the jail. That's not even.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, 3 ounces.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a Friday at the bar for a lot of these guys.
For real.
I'm glad they didn't actually get me with the move that I made 2 moves before that, prior to that, because you guys would not know who Vince Serrano is, because Vince Serrano, they give you more time for drugs than they do killing somebody. I would have had a better shot shooting it out with the cops, and that's what needs to change. That's why the story is going. Prison reform, probation, war on drugs, stereotyping, profiling, racial profiling. All these things are issues. That's why they got Remy Ma hosting it.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Miss, I'll shoot you in the stomach for my $5,000. Yeah.
And I keep it real. I feel like I shouldn't have got what I got. Like, she probably
Ladies
came
and
at me
gentlemen.
stupid. Like, I don't know. I wasn't there, but I'm just trying to tell you, like, nobody knows what people are going through. So, I had, when I was homeless at 17, I told you I was going through these things, and I was living with my baby mom. My grandmother had moved to Puerto Rico. I didn't want to leave. I had basketball dreams and aspirations. I wasn't gonna let nothing stop that. So I stood in Florida. That's how I ended up. And my baby mom, she had a baby I thought was mine. I'm fighting with my grandmother at the time. I'm 17 years old, 18 years old, fighting with my grandmother. My grandmother's like, "I don't think the baby's yours." I'm like, "Yo, don't say that. What the fuck wrong? What's wrong with you?" Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep it real. You don't say shit like that. I love this girl, and she wouldn't do that to me. And getting into like these like little tiffs with my grandmother feeling something, and I'm feeling a certain kind of way, and then I can't beat her. My grandmother's like, "You know what? I can't take this," and she leave, and we got to move. And I'm like, "No, I'm not going nowhere. I figure it out." And I go move in with my baby mama. Baby comes out, doesn't look like me. What am I gonna do?
Right.
Yeah.
So I signed the birth certificate at 17. That's the only thing that saved me.
Because you were underage?
Because I was underage. We had to go to court in child support. They were like, "Hey, your payments are going to be for 2 kids." I'm like, "What?" Like, listen, she can keep my name. We can do these things. I'm still going to be there, because I knew the situation, because I had to pry it out of my baby mama at this time. But, I wanted to do the right thing, but we had an agreement. Listen, we're going to handle this right when the time comes, but you're not ever going to put me on child support. I don't want no type of disgrace, trying to do the right thing. And she's like, "Yo, listen, man, you went to DR. You got to accomplish your dreams. You went to college. I had 2 kids. You going to pay for this." Those were her words. And we now are, the conversations that we have now are a little bit better, because I feel like we matured. And she felt like I loved basketball more than I loved her at the time, which you shouldn't make me choose.
Right.
You should support my dream.
Right. I love basketball and I love you.
Right.
Yeah.
Support like that.
And
but she hit me
nice some final, finances coming out of that too, if you make it somewhere.
Well, dude, that's what she thought. She thought I signed this deal in DR, that I was out there with the jersey, just in that the pasaporte con la ala. You know what I'm saying? And just out here living. And it was something like that, but it wasn't all like that.
All right.
Right.
That DR money's way longer.
It's way shorter though, too.
No, of course. I think, so I don't know if I'm really in tune with everything that Vince is talking about. And he touches on so many different things, right? Yeah. And I could really appreciate the fact that he's touching on his relationship, because he's bearing it out. I was 17. I was a kid. I didn't know no better. And evidently she was young and she didn't know no better. And now, fast forward, the conversations they have, they're a lot more enlightened. They understand, where they're at and the mistakes that they made. So it demonstrates growth. No, for sure.
And us Latinos with the machismo,
Oh, that? The court.
They goodness for the courts. And that's the thing. Like, they're going to make sure that we have decent conversations. Like, all that other, the emotions we talk about. Hey, you gonna lose your emotions? My lawyer told me, like, listen, the worst thing you can do is get emotional in this thing. Get yes sir, and that's it. And thank goodness for that, because they did the math. She was trying to say nah. They did the math. It was remedial math, and I was 17 with no guardian. Thank goodness.
Wow. So now, Jesus, we went left.
So now I got to pay $7,000 of child support instead of 14. Now I got to pay $70,000 of back child support, bro. Now, I just tore my knee. I can't go play ball. I go to college. I get a little Bright Future scholarship because I'm smart. They gave me a scholarship to go to any school in Florida, and 75% of it, it costs money. The other 25%. So I go get a job. I go think I'm gonna go do this. I go think I'm gonna do that, and keep it real with you, man. Those bills kept piling up. That child support came. That driver's license came. That coach kept calling. Those dreams, seeing my guys getting on there, and then real joint. Like, I just got fed up with life. I felt like my life was over. That I wasn't worth nothing. If I couldn't play ball, that I wasn't it. And so I just went and I made a phone call to the people, the same people I grew up with that I used to. Some of them didn't make it either, and they were entrepreneurial, smart guys in the street, and they had it, and they knew the type of grind that I had, and it was nothing for them to drop a pack off. And I saw that one. This reason why they call it a trap, man, because once you get that one taste, you stuck up, you caught up. And I realized that, I could, if I put the same amount of effort into this that I could put in, and I realized that if I did that on anything positive later on, whatever I put my mind, this is the way I am. We see it. We good energy, right?
Yes, sir.
Every day.
Yes, sir.
This is like my life. Like, I'm the kind of guy that whatever I focus on, I'm like the sun. It will grow. Okay? It will either burn or it will grow.
So Vince, I'm curious to know now, because of course the show is going to speak on that portion of your life and what it was like. I'm curious to know what comes to you, what inspires you, that leads you to the path of music. Like what happens?
Rick Ross, Port of Miami. Every day I'm hustling. Who you haters think?
Oh, they turned the light off.
Can you hear? My bad.
There you go. That's all right. Oh, we're just about to get to the good part. Ladies and gentlemen, just bear with us. I think Vince is having some
technical difficulties.
Yeah, he probably didn't charge his phone or his tablet, but we'll wait for him to come back in the room. Dude, she tried to get him for a kid that wasn't his?
Yeah, man. That's not like the first time we've ever heard something like that,
That is banana. Ladies and gentlemen, would you ever do that? Like, does anybody know anybody who's gotten caught in a situation like that?
We watch it every day on Maury, right? I'm not the father. I'm
1,000% sure it's his baby. That is fucking berserk.
Yeah, man. I wonder if we could touch back to the prison.
There he goes. He's coming back in. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him back. All right, bro. You're back in the building. So where were we?
My fault, man.
No, it's good.
Rick Ross.
Rick Ross was the inspiration.
Young Jeezy, trap music, T.I., BMF, you know what I'm saying? Like, straight, like, everything that I'm influenced by, like, at that time is go out, push it hard on 95, push it to the limit. I'm looking at the ones that had VH1's texting me right now. My episode 816 right now. Make sure true crowd story. So gotta get another plug.
No doubt, sure.
But like, that drive and that seeing the dope boy dunks and the dudes with the money and listening, watching Pac and Biggie, and Sally, you said it, man, right? You either got to be jump shot or you can what, you know?
Sing
Yeah,
that crack
singing
rock.
that crack rock, or you got a wicked jump shot. And the thing,
know?
like, I wanted to touch on with the streets, you know, it's fast money. People are like, oh, it's easy money and this or that. No, it's fast money, but it's not easy money. When you're riding dirty and you worrying about the police or this or you know who's robbing you, and it's not easy money. It's fast money.
Bro, and I'm paranoid. I'm paranoid. Like I stay paranoid. I stay paranoid. My mom used to come around the corner and catch me with the chocolate. She used to catch me in the shower coming out. You know, so I had to, like,
Wow.
I had to speak all my P's and Q's, right? Because my mom wasn't playing. Like raising a young man, she was not wasting no words. Okay, she was. It was my way or you get your ass whooped. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Right.
I had to understand that. And my grandmother too. She didn't really like. She wasn't like that. But my grandmother didn't play games neither. And I want to say something. These women in my life, man, like they did not raise me to be in the streets. They raised me to be a productive member of society, the best that I could be. We were poor, but we didn't look it. We might have had you know, tuna fish and white rice with eggs. You know, that might have been it, but it was good to me. You know, like it. We might have had, you know, the
That was a
ramen noodles.
delicacy.
Right? Yeah, we might have had the spam, arroz blanco. You know, so
Yeah.
they did the best that they could. The problem was I'm always the guy that I want more.
Right.
And I feel like that's my dad's side. That's my hustle, my dad's hustle mentality. That was like, that's in my DNA. It's coded in this.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't think that that side of the family understands that runs. Like Dominicans are generally hustlers. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, yo, you know, a pit bull, right? A pit bull
Mhm.
is gonna attack. You can mix them with that thing's gonna be part pit bull. If it ever bites anything, it's gonna have this lock for some reason. It could be mixed with a pug. It's gonna do the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm like that. I'm a Dominican. I love nice stuff. I love wearing, you know, looking good. I love coming around looking nice. I like nice shit.
Right.
You know?
So
So
Vince,
go work for these people.
yeah, it wasn't really appealing to you. Yeah.
The people I looked up to, man, they wasn't
getting money.
doing that. They were getting money.
Right.
So now I'm interested. I still want to go back to that point of the music. You know, you're seeing all these things happening, especially at that time in Florida, because a lot of noise was coming out of Florida, especially with the transplant. Selly, you know,
I remember who's going to Miami. I remember the first time I seen the BMF, that crew. I was like, who the fuck are these guys? Deep. Spraying bottles, like popping champagne, just spraying it on the crowd, like throwing money.
We started getting a little bit of paper, and then I wasn't in that whole movement, but I was seeing the situations. I had a dude like Miami, right? You go to Miami, you go to Florida, and then all of a sudden all these dope boys come in. And one of my friends, El Nice, he had us riding around with the Rough Riders at the time. And they was in Miami having the shows in Dragon and Infrared and Cross. And my homeboys used to be impersonate like they was that so they could get girls. Because we was all in there. So me being around these people and seeing that it was there, and then we got a little taste of the money. And then in college, I had took out a loan to get a little studio when my son was young. And I remember it to this day. He used to be up late. I used to be up late, basketball practice, all these things. And then he used to get up crying. I'd be working on Acid Pro, trying to mix a record or Jay-Z's Pharrell, you know? And he'd get up and he'd watch
acid
me.
anymore?
Nah. And Pro Tools was an industry standard, but I couldn't afford it. I had to use the crack version. We were in college.
Sure.
You got the Wish version.
Right. So when I got a little bit of paper, man, I knew I always in high school I'd rap, I freestyle, I'd go battle against people. So when my free time, that was my time for therapy. I was recording. When I got a little bit of paper and I heard what was coming out, and I was French Montana before French Montana, I started putting the whole life out on blast. Like I had a billboard going around Tampa with my face on it. I'm riding around. Mac and cheese was coming out, bro. It's the middle of Tampa. I'm asking my man. I'm coming around with a mink on. We don't even get snow. I'm sweating
balls.
Jim Jones, at that time, Jim Jones and Cam, they was like stacked bundles at that time, was doing this thing. Like I'm looking at all these cats and I'm like, I kind of resemble these cats. Like Jimmy, like I felt like I was gonna be signed to Dipset.
Right.
I felt like I was that. So I started just going hard in the music. And to keep it real, I didn't even think I could rap that good at that time. Like my music.
You rapping English?
Yeah, I was rapping all English.
Okay.
All of it.
All right, hold on. What made you switch? Did you recognize? Did you recognize the market and the capability? Yeah.
So before at all risk of not looking like a culture vulture, because I think that's some shit. Like I don't want to. I want people to understand that I'm not just jumping on the Latin wave because we hot now, right? So I want people to understand that that's not the case. I didn't have the confidence to rap in Spanish before because I spoke with an accent. I speak como un gringo, como un Dominican York. Like yo hablo como like English, Spanish. So Spanglish. But when I go to DR, when I first went to DR, bro, like it was a tough time. Yeah. I had to communicate with my brothers and sisters. They didn't know English. I didn't know Spanish. My older brother did because he was raised in New York. My youngest not. So I had to learn through the fire, And basketball, being on a basketball court in DR and being nice.
That helps.
Los tigres me pasan la bola, They like, pásame la bola, Ronnie. So they I'm learning, I'm picking up. The girls at the time, I'm new. So I'm learning Spanish by just being on the court. I didn't have that confidence. It wasn't until coronavirus, we say Corona taught you some lessons.
For real.
I wanted to connect with my people.
Right.
I got so many people, so many roots in DR from playing ball, from being there with my family. Like, I was in DR moving, like no doubt. I was in DR in every hood in Santiago. The same way I was in every hood in Sully just dipped. He's good. We all right?
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
Okay.
See it.
We in every hood that I went to in DR, man, it was to learn more about the language and connect with the people, bro. You know? When I decided that I wanted to do Spanish, it was during Corona where I was like, listen, this is my last chance. And there's people who telling me like, I've never done a song in Spanish. Let's see if we could do one.
Wow.
And the response that I got, let's make it Spanglish. Let's do the best that I can. I didn't want to die and not know if I could do it or not.
Right.
And now people tell me that that's what they want to hear. They don't even like my English shit no more.
Hey, damn, yo. Not for nothing, Vince. I'm glad you stopped rapping in English.
Yo, they're like, your English shit was good. It was good, but it feels like your Spanish is more real.
Yo, Sully, you heard that?
No, I had to step away for a second. My bad.
They were like, they're glad Vince stopped rapping in Spanish.
In English.
In English, my bad. Yeah, in English. And I'm like, that's some shit. They were waiting the whole time to be like, yo, dude, for real, I'm glad you rap in Spanish now, kid, because your English shit, I couldn't fuck with it.
Yeah, like they feel it. They feel it because I feel like in English I'd be trying to like overcomplicate things, but in Spanish I gotta keep it short and simple. It's always better when you do it like that.
It flows for you.
100.
It's crazy because Spanish rap, right? I can remember in 87, 88 was my first trip to Puerto Rico. I've only been to Puerto Rico one time my whole life. And when I went out to Puerto Rico at that time, I discovered Bico C and Negro DJ.
Oh, yeah.
those dudes, I thought in my mind, were the corniest of the corny.
The
And they were
reggaeton,
on-
right?
It wasn't even reggaeton.
It was playero, like playero shit, right?
Playero, yeah.
Crap in español. It was, and they were on TV. Excuse me, they were on TV.
What year
Like,
was that?
Like 86, 87, por ahí.
I
Like,
went there in 96 and I saw the same kind of stuff. I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
Dude, I was there and I was just like, these dudes are so corny. What are they doing? And my cousins in the room right now. I went to visit and they were like, you don't know, these guys are the best. And I'm like, you don't know that they suck. They are trash. Like, nobody wants to hear this shit. And sure enough, fast forward to where we are now, Biko C is a legend.
Yeah.
On the island. Like, that dude is revered. All that to say that thinking back, that music was so complex because rapping itself is difficult. But rapping in a foreign language, because words don't translate, you know what I'm saying? How to fit and construct cadences is fucking incredible. To me, at least. I admire it. Yeah, man. So Vince, we move away from being a dope boy. We shift our energy because you made a little investment into having a studio, right? You're constructing stuff in your spare time. When do you go, I'm all in the music? Like, what's the first happening for you that made you realize, like, listen, I'm going all in?
I mean, Mr. A and Sully, let me know, man, because he be skipping spots, man. He be like, we were moving. I want to tell you, but if
please,
we're missing the whole spot.
All right, then fill it in.
I don't shift away from being a dope boy. I get rich or die trying, and I go to prison.
All right.
And when I get arrested, then a deal comes on the table to do the music.
Of course.
At the people. When it rains, it pours. This guy. Blow my knee, I get a contract for the team. Get locked up, here's the record deal. Oh, you got to give me 2 to 4.
Yeah. So we preparing for that. Supposedly, my manager, Bottom Feeder Music, he's moving where Shady DJs, all these things, and he's supposed to put out a records. I record. I'm on bond. Like, the whole story, BH1 will tell you about that, but I got to go hard. I'm going hard as I can. I shoot videos. I record. I got the studio in my house. I'm doing more stuff. Like, yo, it's supposed to be like the Kodak Black kind of like trail, like, keep me alive. We got the plugs. And when I go, everything just
right.
And now I got to do hard time. I'm frustrated. I'm in prison. My girl is struggling. You know, my second son's my. Oh, here's another thing. We say that, right? Yo, you get the contract. Tear your knee, you get the contract. Go get arrested, get the record deal. Here's this. The day we got arrested, they actually strip searched my son's mom, my girl, and she's pregnant with my son.
Wow. Nice. She really hates you.
No. This is another. This is later on. This is a different.
Otra. Oh, okay. Otra. Okay.
So
shit.
I thought I had learned. I didn't, and I got hit with a trifecta real fast. It was, but I ain't had time to think about it, bro. I had to do this time. I had to record these records. I had to see my son be born. I had to make sure that they were straight. So I'm taking these chances. I'm recording, and then when I go into prison, everything just crumbles. It falls to pieces. So I get frustrated. I'm in the prison. I go to selling weed in the jail. Because that's all.
The hustlers in you.
I was a good basketball player. I was a good rapper, but I am an awesome hustler.
Right.
Like, you know, so it's Sally, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I hear you, man. So that's what gets you through the bid, like hustling and okay.
Hell no, that gets me further in the bid. That gets me like in the mix. That starts getting the light shine on me. That
hot boy.
And I'm not caring. I'm not worried about it. I'm living life like this is my last, like it's my best life. If I'm in jail, then I'm gonna be in jail. Like, yo, but I'm already in jail, you know? So like And then I get into the fights with the police in the jail.
Of
And
course.
that's a war that I ain't never gonna win.
Right.
And they send me to Santa Rosa on heightened security level 5. And I'm my cellmate's on death row. He's been on death row twice.
Wait, whoa. Hold up a second. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you caught that. He said his cellie was on death row twice. How do you get on death? Like, did they miss him the first time? Like, what the fuck happened?
So he ended up, and this is the biggest thing. We try not to talk about somebody's cases, but he ended up offing 2 people. They put him on death row. They changed legislation, took death row away. He ends up getting off of death row. He ends up killing a cellmate. They changed legislation. They tried him. They put him back on death row. So instead of death row, they give him life. They put him back, and then they change legislation again and take it off. And now he's good. Now he's old, and now he's in my cell. Because I tried to get 5 more years for assault on an officer that hit me, and all I did was defend myself. But you ain't gonna win.
Winning that. You ain't winning that.
Yeah, you're not. Doesn't matter.
And I came out on the show locked up, y'all. Keep it real with you.
Really?
Locked up Santa Rosa.
Okay.
Yeah, you look it up. I'm
That's
actually
crazy.
rapping. I'm actually rapping on there.
You're like, yo, when I come out, I'm gonna blow up, and boom, here you are.
I rap a song called 100 Grand. And it goes, if I had 100 grand, Lord, I might go off the deep end and go blow it all this weekend. Might be just enough to take me out the gutter, keep the law on my back to get me out of trouble. Stay out the streets to keep the promise that I made my mama. If I don't bubble off of that, I don't know how to hustle. Give me 100 grand and I'm gonna flip it like a gymnast. Give you 100 grand and you gonna smoke it like a chimney. I make it 10 times that amount before I finish. You just better hope I die before I get a chance to spend it, baby. If I had 100 grand,
Let's go.
Lord, I might go off the deep end and go blow it all this weekend.
Yo, I don't know if you could tell, but dudes from Florida, you always hear their voice. You know they from Florida. They got that accent. They can't shake that shit, and it doesn't matter who it is. They could be white, Latino, black, whatever, and you hear Florida when they talk.
And I was in the Florida prisons. I was in Lower Alabama, bro, in a box for 24 months. Like Auburn was like, I could throw. You know what I'm saying? So like,
right.
I'm getting the corn-fed dudes, and no lie, I'm in that every day, and that's a part of my culture now. Like, I have to learn how to shut it. You know, when you get around, like I can get around Dominicans who speak Spanish. I'll sound like a Dominican. I get around professional people, and I'll sound like a college graduate. I get around, it's who I'm around. I can adapt, and I think that's what moving and being in these different places and being exposed to all these cultures and basketball has taught me to be able to do. So
makes you dangerous. And I don't mean dangerous in the physical and criminal aspect. I mean, in a business sense, it makes you dangerous to other people, right? Because you can definitely move and shake in different surroundings, right?
You talk about leadership, man. You could either you could choose to be a good leader and focus on the negative, and you'll be good at that, and people will follow you. And people followed me down that path into prison. And now I realize that if you put your stuff into positive stuff, and being a leader is natural, for me. I just focus on that, and I focus on the positive, and good things happen to me, and then the people who follow me. So you just got to make that choice.
So Joey Brow was a mentor to you, right? So are you a mentor to kids now?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm more than that, So, I'll give you the long story. I got out of prison. I realized that they have a place for me. That spot, I didn't want to go back. I read these books to try to give myself an opportunity, and then life hit me hard. I got a good job when I first get out. I got fired because of my record. I went back to kind of like making the excuses, like all I know how to do is hustle. And then I almost went back to prison. I got caught in Arizona with 25 pounds in the car. Coming back from Cali, and thank goodness the cops let me go, because my girlfriend at the time, her name was Diana, She stood on the phone because I was so paranoid. We went through the drills because I was around the cops for 24 hours a day for 3 years. So I used to replay how I got caught. And so I trained my girl on what we would do if I ever got back in that after I started making these things. And she played it to the T. She stood on the phone for an hour and 35 minutes. The cops went into the trunk. They violated. She heard everything. They recorded it. And then when they finally found the phone, they called back. And she was like, listen, if you don't let this guy go, you on CNN tomorrow. And they took the work, but they let me go. And that was my wake up. That was like that was that moment in time where I'm driving through Arizona up a mountain with nothing. Like I put everything I had into these 25 pounds and they just walked out of here and I was still able to go and I beat the people and I still lost. And then the next day, that girl who saved my life, she left me. And then my baby mama needed the child support money. And then I was supposed to move to Cali and I was homeless. And then the money that I had, some of that money was my homeboys because he loaned me $3,000 for the lights and I was supposed to give him $6,000. And now I got to go back to him and tell him, listen, my dog, I lost your money. The cops took it, but I ain't running. I need a place to stay.
Right.
Wow. Yo, Vince, you are one Tasmanian devil of a
Necesita un baño.
El baño ya se hicieron.
That's it, baby.
Esa policía me dieron leña. Yo,
oh my God.
To keep it real, that was the turning point, man. I'm crying, you know, asking God, like, or the universe, or whoever you believe to. For me, it's a divine entity because I didn't get out of that myself. It was the people around me. It was God. I said that, and I say it on the VH1. It's gonna take an act of God to get me out of this. And sure enough, I was already preparing my mind because I'd already been in prison to be in there, get an account, watch this LeBron game because they was losing to San Antonio. Get me into the LeBron game. Start trying to move around. And dude, they took the things off. Said, dude, you're a smart guy. You could either go back and sell your car, get a new one, come back, and we'll play this game again. And that kind of registered. And then they were like, or you can go and choose to go do the right thing, my guy. The choice is yours. And I was like, they were like, you could be construction work. I was like, do I look like manual work?
Look at these fingernails.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, look at these hands, boy.
I grabbed the rim. That's about it, you know. But dog, they told me, they were like, well, listen, come back and we'll do this again. And they told me, like, yo, that taught me that they have unlimited resources, unlimited people, and they only have to be right once. I've got limited resources, limited times, and I have to be right 100% of the time.
That's a fact.
That don't make no sense to me. It didn't make no sense. And then life is going to test you to see if you're going to fall back to what you are most comfortable with.
Of course.
And so it didn't just give me the job I wanted. I had to go sell gutter. Actually, I had to go look for jobs, right? And I failed drug tests because I smoked weed and they didn't hire me. And then I passed the drug test, but they didn't hire me because of my records. So it was like these little adverse obstacles coming in my way, and I had to be strong. I had to ask my grandmother for $215. I had to ask my boy to live in his house. I had to sell my car. I could have took the money and tried to flip it. I gave it to him so that way I could keep my word, right? So now I got my car. I got to go to work. I'm making $319 a week, and then child support's taking $175 a week.
My God.
These are little adverse things. I realized I got to go make more money. And I also realized that I would rather be poor, living under a bridge, free, than rich in prison, eating zoom zooms and wham whams with all the guys telling me, Chico, stop lying.
Wow. So now we're in our place. And when I say that, I mean, you're in your right place in life. Your energy, who you are, your focus, your creativity is all in line, right? What are we working on? What are the things that are coming down the pipeline, or the things that you want to venture into as far as when it comes to music?
So the music right now, man, I'm telling you right now, Latin Grammys. That's it.
Nice.
Latin Grammys. We charted Billboard. realistically, man, you talk about the dreams and the desires and the goals. I write those things down because when I write my goals down, they're not just ideas. They become plans. They become the architecture. And I learned that going through those things that you know, get a job, look for a job, get a suit, look for a job. Those little paces, and it got those little wins started accumulating like a little macaroni necklace. Like we put one, and it don't mean nothing, but you get a string a lot of them bitches along, you might have a little chain, you know, and that stringing those little wins along, and then continuing to do that, and then seeing that, and knowing that I had to write those things down. Those little things taught me to get that, and it's sheer drive. When I don't have my goals written down, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just wandering. A man without goals is a man without a purpose. So even after I hit my goals, I have to write new ones. And so this is what we're doing. Signing the 10 million. VH1's coming out. Okay. We're going to use this platform to, I want to promote every person that has been in my life, that has been in my corner, that has been in my structure, to be able to use this platform as an opportunity to promote their stuff, to give back. Like guys like Joey Brower, guys like Chris Ward, who are training these kids, young kids, like Joey got game.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? And he recognized the game in me, and he seen me go ham and have that little chip. He's heard the stories about me, about good and bad. And so
Joey had one too.
His movement, you know, we all do. So his movement, the Sports Center Elite, they're buying a building. I'm like in the Yo program, the Boys and Girls Club. I'm legit the poster child. I had a picture of myself on a bus that was moving around with my face on it. I was the poster kid for the Boys and Girls Club. I want them. They're buying a building. I want to help them use this platform. A couple of my friends, we started. I started businesses. Youngest in the Yacht Club with another one of my friends. I want to make sure that the people in my circle that have been here, I want to empower my circle and let them use the platform so we can get on and we can make a bag. My solar company, that's how I do it.
Nice.
My solar company, I got into solar because it was like, okay, I could sell these kilos, and that's work.
Right.
And it's gonna go. I could sell these pounds and these pallets of pounds and these gutter guards, and it's gonna go. The sun comes out for free. People love it. It's renewable. It's like when I went to DR for the first time at 14, the lights would go out every 30 minutes. I was wondering what the hell's going on every 3 hours. And now I can actually bring that to different countries and bring that renewable source of energy and feel good about myself. And then I'm good at it and I can train people to do it. This is like selling dope.
Wow.
But legally.
Right.
Wait a minute. This is where they say that, oh, it's the game. The game has changed. The game is the same, but the players have changed. Oh man, this is business.
Yes, it is. Definitively.
Different type of hustle.
And I'm addicted to that. We talked about it. I'm addicted to that feeling when I walk out of somebody's house and I know that I just helped them, and I know that they're happy when I left because I came into their lives. And when you can feel good about that, when you can, like, guys, I know I talk a lot. I apologize. You know what I'm saying?
No, this is a talk show. That's what you're here to do. Talk.
I want people to understand, man, that like when you finally find what your passion was, because that's what I asked God. And that girl who left me at that time, she called me in the middle of me crying, and she was like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "I just don't know why I'm even here. I don't know what my purpose is. Why am I here? Why am I not in that prison cell? Why didn't they give me 20 years in Arizona State Prison just now? Like, why did they let me go? What's my purpose?" And God, and she would say, because God, it ain't for you. God, that's not what God wants for you. Maybe it's to impact somebody's life later on down the line. That's what God's using you for. And you either going to do it or God going to put you in the road to do it, whatever your choice is. You do this voluntarily or involuntarily. But this is the way.
What about music-wise? Is there any collabos you're looking forward to doing?
Hell yeah. I apologize, man, because I want to work with all the like Latino artists uh from different countries, like, and the new cats. So like Mike Towers, Dabo Montana. I want to work with Jay Cortez. I want to work with these, with these young guys, these dudes that are brand new to the game, new to the industry, because Lito Quirino, like these people that are in Uptown, like they got their movement, because now we've created our movement. I talk about my life and my story, but the music, we got a fan base right now that is pumping with what we're doing. So Bad Bunny, all these people, I feel like they're going to hear what we're doing and they're going to be like, this is something new. This is an American who can rap in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
You got a lot of Spanish artists that rap in English sometimes, but not the other way around. I feel like I'm the first one to be able to create this Spanglish género, like, and make it mainstream.
Next to Pitbull.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I'm Pit.
I'll take this money.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. When in 2007, 2008, when I was out there, man, I had an opportunity to be in front of Pitbull. He told me I wasn't ready yet. So,
okay.
And look at where he's at. So,
yeah.
And to keep it G with you, maybe I wasn't ready.
Right.
But I feel like if I got another opportunity in front of him, he's gonna be like, "Yo, let's do this."
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining the show, we're listening to the story of Mr. Vince Serrano. Vince is very astute in the game and understands that the most important part about his whole journey is his growth, and being able to understand things when they're spoken to him speaks volumes about who he is now as a man. But Sally, I'm hearing him talk about what Pitt told him. Hey, you're not ready, and he's saying, yeah, I probably wasn't ready. And do you think, like, listening to Vince's explanation of how these things came to him, do you think a lot of people would benefit, hearing his story and understanding that, they're sort of in line with the shit that he went through? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a story that a lot of us can relate to. You know what I mean? And part of, like I said, with my story, like I'll be like, I didn't work hard enough. That's why I didn't make it as a pro baseball player or whatever. You know what I mean? Because I feel I know what I did wrong. I didn't work hard enough. I just felt my talent was going to speak for itself. And that's why these other guys made it. They worked hard and they made it. So if you recognize, your shortcomings, that's only going to make you better, right? If you improve on it. Like we spoke about COVID taught us a lot of things, but not everybody listened, and a lot of people going back on their fuckboy shit. So
for sure. Vince, I wanted to ask you, throughout this whole time that you are experiencing all these things and the people that you've come into contact with and have been lucky enough to come into contact with, what do you think is the most important lesson that you've learned throughout this journey of your life?
I learned you need to sacrifice who you are today to be the person that you want to be tomorrow. I learned there is no success without sacrifice. I learned that being a leader and being the one that in the room, being recognized that and taking that on, that's not an easy task. You need to be prepared for it, because people, if you don't recognize it, they'll look at you as a leader. When everybody comes into the room, not everybody can tell who's who.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to be the best version of yourself, because your first impression is your last impression. And I want to pride myself on giving people the greatest information. And if anything, they look at me and say, you know what, that guy's an inspiration. If he could do it, I could do it. And I also learned something that you said earlier, Mr. A, and Sully, you said this too, right? I don't always understand the message when it's coming to me. Sometimes I'd be blocking my blessings sometimes, right? Sometimes when somebody could be speaking some real stuff to me, but just because of the mood I'm in or what's going on in my life, it doesn't resonate with me right then and there. But then something may happen 3 days later, 3 weeks later, 3 months, maybe even 3 years later. And I'm like, that's what they were talking about.
Right.
Mhm.
Clicks in.
You got to be ready for your blessings, and some people aren't. Not even myself all the time. And it's been something I've been trying to work hard at to be better at. And our shortcomings, Sully, man, you said it, man. If we can recognize those, then maybe we could also recognize that there's another purpose for us and why we went through those things, and use those to maybe guide the ones. Like, just so you know, my son. We asked about my relationship with my oldest son.
Mhm.
He's doing music. He goes to Full Sail University. He's better than me. I don't even know that. He's better than me.
Okay.
He just sent me his first song in Spanish, and I play it for everybody. And it's a. We talk about that ego, right? Because what I want from me. But everybody gets like, you see how these lights are in my eyes, and they're like,
yeah.
they're like, he's better than you. I gotta wear that one, but that's what you want.
Yeah,
of course.
What you want for your kids, and
you definitely do.
What do I want musically? What do I want to do? I want to pave the way for artists that were like me, artists that were born here, but are Latino and have to wear that Latino badge, whether they know it or not, whether they know what it's like. You have to wear it when you go into the school. You have to wear it outside. You got to wear it in the courtroom. You got to wear it at your job. You got to wear it all the time, 100%. It's not something that you could shake. And to some people, you're not Latin enough. To others, you're too Latin. And you need to wear that like a badge and embrace that. And those people who think that, who feel ashamed because maybe they don't know Spanish, or who feel ashamed because maybe their skin is light and they're not considered Latin enough, that they have somebody out there who went through what they went through. And my son, who maybe wasn't raised around Dominicans, maybe he was raised around Mexicans and Cubans, but that he knows that he can embrace that, wear that, love that, and be proud of his culture just like we are, and then express that through music and inspire other people and inspire them, the ones behind them, to keep going and create that genre. That's what I want.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you just joined the show, you straight out of luck. Jesus.
Stream it. You better stream it.
Yeah, you just better run it back. Go to the YouTube channel. Go check it out. Go to the Twitch. Check it out. Go to the Facebook Live and check it out. But most importantly, I don't even know how to envelop or encompass the words to say thank you to Mr. Vince Serrano for coming on and giving us his time. Vince, as we tell our guests, you're part of the family. If anything in the future comes up and you want to promote it, you want us to promote it, whatever the case may be, you just bang our line, shoot us a DM, whatever it is. And that's what we're here for, because this is the people's platform. All right. So,
man, I appreciate you.
No, thank you. And I mean, it's so much more I know we could talk about. You know what I mean?
For sure.
We try to get as much as we could in, and everybody go watch the show on VH1, man. Go check out the show.
Yes,
What's
sir.
the date?
My true crime story, August 2nd on VH1 with our guy here, Mr. Vince Serrano.
August 2nd is when the series premieres. There's actually, and we should get her. She's from Brooklyn. Shawana King that's her story that airs on the 2nd. So, and I'm good friends with her. We could get her on, and she can get the story. She's with it.
After it airs, if she wants, so she could talk freely. That'll work.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, she could whatever. I'm gonna plug y'all in the DM, and I want y'all to get there. She's from Brooklyn. She's now the author of a book called Swiped. Her show airs. She's the premiere episode. I'm actually going on Monday to her viewing party in Brooklyn.
Nice.
So yeah, VH1 and her presenting it. We're gonna be there, and then check my episode out on August 16th. Check the entire episodes, man. And the great thing about it is it's a redemption story. Everybody after that has flourishing businesses, flourishing families. They understand, and they're in a better space right now. And that's the biggest message. Like, it wasn't about how much drugs or how much drama could happen. It was about what we learned from those lessons and how we can affect people and understand how to use those powers for good, you know?
Life is going to knock you down, and when you get back up, what are you going to do about it?
Got to be about that change up, you know what I mean? Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Mr. Hablando himself, Mr. Vince Serrano. Vince, we're going to put you in the green room. We're going to close out the show so we can talk afterwards, all right?
Appreciate you, brother. Definitely.
Thank you, brother.
For real. Damn. Dude, a lot of good energy.
Yes.
Right? Great story. And like you said, I could have stayed talking to this cat for another 45 minutes, another 2 hours, whatever. Right?
Yeah. And we bounced around. Like we said, we bounced around on stuff because, again, he's on the VH1, so we don't want to talk about a lot of stuff that they're going to air either. So,
for real.
But we'll be having him back when his music drops, all that stuff too. Besides that big deal.
The super exclusives. Go check him out on iTunes, all the streaming platforms. Go check him out, Vince Serrano. The last joint I heard, and I believe it was released like a week ago, it's called Hablando. And I want to say, Sally, we can ask him. I want to say that song is inspired by Tito Rojas' song Pregunta por mí. If you hear it,
right,
sort of like in the same vein. I wanted to ask him, and I completely fucking forgot.
Because you don't write your shit down like Vince does, and I do. Surprise, motherfucker.
Ladies and gentlemen,
surprise, motherfucker.
My partner's taking a stab at it right here. We're gonna let that rock though. Tune in next Wednesday. We got another special guest coming up. We're not gonna release who it is, but you already know what it is. So we out.
Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next week. Peace.